everybody, to the glorious episode of the Put On Waivers podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, podcasting from the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Have my man Ryan Holmes with me. Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Another beautiful day in paradise in Southern California.
It really is. I'm sorry, folks. So excited today. I'm not sure if you're a Nas fan, but I saw that Nas is in San Diego next week, and he's playing with the San Diego Symphony.
Oh, wow.
So that's gonna be pretty cool. Like, I can't wait to hear "Woke Up This Morning" with the symphony playing in the background. That's gonna be kind of cool. Let's see here. So Green Bay, Wisconsin, Pittsburgh, PA, Compton, California, Butte, Montana. Thank you for listening. RTPOW podcast is my Twitter handle, and Ryan is RHOLM22. Not for Keyshawn Nixon, whatever his name is. At all, trust me. As far as that goes, let's roll into it. I did see a couple notes here, and before we get into the previews of the AFC East and AFC East and NFC East, is could the Chubb money that he got, is that the kind of contract we're looking for Josh Jacobs coming up as well? If he has a typical Josh Jacobs year coming up for the Raiders.
I think so. I think that's a fair contract. It's kind of right underneath what Dalvin Cook got. It's not at the top of the market, so it's not a record-setting contract by any stretch of the imagination. But I'd feel comfortable. Obviously the Raiders should pick up the fifth-year option because the franchise number on a running back is cheaper, and then sign into a contract. So they're still about 2 years away from making that decision. But I'd be comfortable with that.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's certain teams that are just COVID is not being friendly to them. I mean, the entire quarterback room of the Minnesota Vikings has COVID. So, and I think that the most telling thing about it is, listen, choice, whatever, I get it. I'm not religious or personal. That's fine. I think the thing that is frustrating the coach, and he said that some of the reasons why they're not getting vaccinated are just boggling his mind. So like he's hearing like those kind of things. So for him, where his job is on the line, any coach's job is on the line. If your coach, unless your name is Belichick, your coach, your job is, or Gruden, your job is on the line. How frustrating could it be for Zimmer here, where this is going to be a situation where he has to watch COVID? Is he going to have to like take Kirk Cousins home every day to make sure, put him in the bubble to make sure he doesn't go anywhere? Because this is going to be a tough thing for the Vikings to this whole team to deal with.
He might need to, because that team is going to have a chance to challenge the Packers for the NFC North. I don't know if they'll catch the Packers, but they're clearly the second best team in that division. So, can they afford to lose Kirk Cousins for 10 days once the season starts and lose 2 games? No, they can't. So
no way.
Kirk Cousins is going to have to do everything he can. It's his choice, but now he needs to make sure he's accountable to his teammates and do everything he can to be available every Sunday for the Vikings.
Money is a very powerful thing, and the NFL is NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL. They're not in the mood. They're not in the business of losing money. So I'm not positive, but I do believe that if you work at Disney, you have to get vaccinated.
Yep.
I mean, if your employer says you have to get vaccinated, and I think that might be something. I'm not sure if it's coming to the NFL, but if some teams have to shut down, or play in front of nobody during this Delta variant, I'm telling you right now, that's going to be on the table. That's going to be on the table for NFL players. It's gonna come. So I love to see what happens with that, but. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that would have to go through the Players Association before they can make any sort of mandate about that. But if teams start having to forfeit games and guys are missing paychecks, the Players Association might change their stance on
that. It's all about. I think at some point, media is going to start losing their access to practice. And I think, and I would be justified if it happened, because it's going to come off because we have the Raider logos behind us. Like, I am not. I'm a Raider fan who does not care about the San Francisco 49ers. Some Raider fans, that's a real touchy subject, especially ones who grew up in Northern California. I'm a Raider fan who grew up in Connecticut. So I totally understand. If you lived in Oakland and everything, I mean, San Francisco gets everything. They get the Warriors. They get all that stuff. The Giants win championships and the A's don't. I don't have a problem with Giants winning championships, but just personally, because I'm a Giants fan. But with that being said, people who have watched football for 25 million years, watching Trey Lance in practice and calling him the second coming is just, dude, y'all got to stop this shit. Y'all got to stop. It's way too much. It's ridiculous. I mean, people like Greg Papa, who like he was a former Raider, now he's a Niner. Like, you're going on and on like he is like this guy is the best ever. Like, to me, if I was the 49ers, I would give him the same treatment that I gave that Andy Reid gave Patrick Mahomes. Give Garoppolo this what I call the Alex Smith year. Go through the season. The roster is talented. Maybe you can maybe you make the playoffs, but for the long haul, the guy Trey Lance has had way less experience than Patrick Mahomes playing college football or playing football, period. I would definitely not rush this experience with Trey Lance. You have him for a long period of time. If it gets crazy by week 12, then I understand. But this idea where you're doing people a disservice by calling him the greatest quarterback ever to live because of a couple of practices in Northern California.
Definitely, I've been seeing that hype all over my timeline on Twitter as well. And you got to understand, they're not game planning for him. The defenses aren't up there disguising things. They're not giving him different looks. He's basically, and a couple of those throws look great, but yeah. And then on the coaching staff too, like he's missing, check downs that are open or better decisions to distribute the ball rather than air it down the field for some of those long touchdowns we saw. Like without a pass rush, you don't know. And like you said, this is a guy that's played 12 games in college. 11 or 12. It's not many more than that. And he threw the ball over 20 times, like 8 times in his college career. So
is that true?
He's not ready to play against NFL defenses.
He's had 20. He had 20.
It might be less than 8. 20 and 8. And there were several games he didn't even throw the ball 20 times in that sample size. So this is a guy that, the athleticism might get him by early if they have to play him or he's running around, but he's going to have games where he looks bad because he just doesn't know what he's looking at in these defenses. And if he does, great. But, the majority of guys in that situation just aren't prepared to play in a national football regular season game. They can do it in practice and they can look good in shorts, flinging it around the yard. But that's not what happens on Sundays.
Somebody tweeted out from the Niners, watching Niners, who said, what did they say? Oh, he's already correcting people's mistakes. I'm like,
oh yeah, I saw that.
So I was like, slow down just a little bit. Slow down. Slow down. I mean, I like the pick. I think it's better than Matt Jones. I would have killed the Niners if they drafted Mac Jones. So better pick, but just give him the Alex Smith treatment. I'm telling you, that's the better thing to do. Previewing the AFC East, football is on now. What's the score of this what's meaningless football? Oh, it's 9-3. 9-3. Football's on. Football's on.
It was 3-0 like halfway through the second quarter, and I couldn't watch.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
but I'm glad football's back.
I know. Football's back. It's good. It's good to see it. I like when all the sports mix together, so it's always fun. AFC East. Let's start there. Let's start with the Pats first because they spent money. This is the Tom Brady effect. He'll never say it. But if Tom Brady was 4-12 and looked horrible last year, then I think he would have kind of just built it the Belichick way, I guess. I don't know what a Belichick way is, but Belichick way. But here is my view of the Patriots is this. Can Bill coach? Yes. Does he know what he's doing? Yes. Is it the draft picks that he has picked over the last 10 years have been pretty bad. And I watch people who do the draft for a living go on TV and say, "Hey, the Bill being Bill, like, oh, what a smart pick. He's gonna fit right in." And they have done a horrible job with the drafts. And they have not been good in the draft, but they lost. When I used to work at a place that had we had to clean white tables, and it was like a little square thing, Arm and Hammer, and they had a thing called Magic Eraser, and that thing was incredible. It would clean anything. I definitely recommend the product. If you want to sponsor the show, please do. Arm and Hammer with the Magic Eraser. Their Magic Eraser went to Tampa. So when the game plan didn't work, Brady saved the day. When it was, when it was a 13-10 game and you needed a field goal, he came through. When it was the 45, you need to beat Kansas City 45-40, he came through. Like, that guy is gone, and that guy is not, not Mac Jones, and that guy is not Cam Newton. So all these folks are picking him to win 10 games, 12 games, 13 games because it's the Belichick way. I think you're being crazy. I see them as a 7-win team. Hopefully, Cam can play okay, Ryan, and then you can get some Matt Jones time towards the end of the season. What are your thoughts about the Patriots?
Yeah, immediately when I start breaking these teams down, the first thing I go to is who's the quarterback, and I can't answer that on this team. I don't know who it is. Is it Cam Newton? Is it Mac Jones? If it's Mac Jones, this team's in trouble because a rookie quarterback's not going to take this team 10 or 11 wins. If it's Cam Newton, they're in trouble because Cam Newton showed last year he's not going to take the team to 10 or 11 wins. So, they do have a good defense. They lost a lot of pieces last year. They finished 8th in the NFL in the scoring defense at 22 points a game. Some of those guys have come back, Hightower, among others. They've added Matt Judon. But this team, to me, I want to know what they're going to look like on offense because they added Johnny Smith. They added Hunter Henry. They added Nelson Aguilar. Are those guys going to be utilized? Or is this going to be a week-to-week game plan thing that Bill and Josh McDaniels do where they're switching up the running backs, they're switching up the tight ends? Are these guys going to be on the field together? Sounds like they could be effective in the red zone. Is this going to be a run-oriented team? Either way, with Cam or Mac Jones. I don't know how much they even like Sony Michel at this point. He's another one of the first-round picks that didn't pan out. N'Keal Harry. Is he going to be on this team? Probably not.
Probably not.
So there's more question marks for me, and I'll let the cat out of the bag. I have them finishing third. I know Patriots fans are going to start screaming at us because we're Raider fans and think we don't like them, but I just don't. I think Miami are better than them. So I'll give them 8 wins, 8 or 9. I think they're going to finish 8 or 9 wins only because they get to play the Jets twice, and the Jets are clearly going to finish last place in this division. Yeah. If this division had another team that was somewhat competent, I don't know if I could get them to 8 or 9 wins, but I will because I'll give them 2 wins against the Jets.
Yeah. Real quick, let's roll over to. I feel the same way. I think that third place team, Miami. I like a lot of things about the Dolphins. I like the Miami Dolphins a lot. I don't like who they have on their center. I think they could have corrected themselves dramatically. I mean, listen, he was anything outside of 20 yards, he was horrible. And this is a down the field, one-on-one, throw your receiver open, tight window league, and Tua is not that guy. Or he didn't show last year. He said that, he said all these things about the playbook and everything like that. Now let's see if he can actually do it this year. He has the playbook. He has the offense. I believe Chan Gailey's gone. So that excuse isn't there anymore. What do you think about the Dolphins going here? I see them as probably, the second best team in the division, just based on talent. But I don't know how much they can do if they're going to continue to play this guy at quarterback.
Yeah, again, I go straight to who's the quarterback.
Who's the quarterback?
You're looking at a second-year quarterback in Tua. I do like the coach. I think Brian Flores is a great defensive coach. They finished 4th in the league in defense last year. I do think they're going to finish in second place by a game over New England, or maybe they have the same record and they win a tiebreaker. I think they're an 8 or 9 win team. You could very easily flip New England and Miami, in my opinion, but neither one of those teams is clearly where Buffalo's at.
Yeah.
I do like the depth they've added in this. I like the speed they do have on offense. If Tua can get the ball out, Mike
Yeah.
Gesicki's an athletic tight end. They added Jalen Waddle. They had Grant last year. They added Will Fuller. So they have some guys that can run down the field. The questions be, is Tua have the arm strength and the ability to get it to those guys? Because those guys aren't winning a lot of matchups, in tight coverage, contested catches. So these are guys that are going to have to be schemed open and get the ball in space. And can they do that with the offensive coordinator that they have since Chan Gailey's gone? I don't even know who the offensive coordinator is off the top of my head, but
George Godsey and Eric Studsville.
Sudsville that came over he was a running backs coach with the Broncos for years.
Yeah. So they're probably doing the passing game, running game thing.
Yeah, this guy, and they need to run the football. Clearly with Tua and shorten games and rely on that defense. I don't know if I trust the running backs on his team either. They played a lot of undrafted guys last year. They don't kind of have a big bell cow guy they can turn around and give it to, but they did add a lot of depth that I do like in free agency. Jacoby Brissett as a serviceable backup. Malcolm Brown can be a good number 2 running back. I like Adam Butler. I like Bernard McKinney and those roles that they have. So they did a nice job adding to this roster. It's all going to come down to Tua. This team could win 5 games if he bombs. This team could win 9 or 10 games if he plays average. Yeah. So we'll see.
The question is, on the way up. Yeah, but definitely on the way up. And the question is, how long of a leash do they give him? That's going to be the big thing. Because at some point, you're a head coach. You want to win games. So this is not. I'm not saying I don't think Brian Flores' job is in jeopardy at all. I'm just saying, at some point, you're not gonna be sitting there watching losses. And he already got yanked last year too. So I'll just see how that goes. The Bills go right to the top. The Bills are going to be the best team in the division. We like them. I think the Emmanuel Sanders move I love that move. They're a pass-heavy team. Why not just go all in on that pass game? You got to watch the COVID status of Cole Beasley, but Cole Beasley is a beast. They have 3 receivers who are just very difficult to deal with. If they can run the ball at all, Ryan, they're just going to be, they're going to be in an AFC Championship game again.
Yeah, to me, they're clearly the second best team in the AFC. I really wish they would have taken one of those running backs at the back end of the first round to really supplement this offense, but they added to the pass rush. Not a lot of fancy moves in the offseason, but it was status quo. They added Emmanuel Sanders. They took the 2 pass rushers in Russo and Basham. But they re-signed their own. They didn't let Feliciano leave. Milano stayed, and Darrell Williams. So they kept 3 pretty important pieces in their front 7 and then along their offensive line. Brian Dable is a great play caller. He should have got a head coach job. He didn't, so he's back in Buffalo. But you asked me the quarterback is this team, Josh Allen. To me, Josh Allen could be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL this year. He's that good. He could be an MVP candidate. They play great defense up there. They were 13th in the league last year. I think that they could be even better this year. They do add Starlo Tulalele to this defensive front because he opted out last year. So they're only getting better. Buffalo's going to be a really good team.
Yeah, no question about it.
This team could win 13 games.
Easily. The Jets, not very good. We should just go on to the 2022 Jets. I mean, just to be honest, you got to be honest with it. It's all about, to me, especially with that young quarterback room in New York, just get this this quarterback going. Have him survive, take hits, let the growing pains happen this year, and then next year, boom, maybe get a jump. They do have some young pieces on the team, but and just keep building that offensive line, that running game, because they're going to be bad this year, no question about it.
Yeah, I feel like the security guard in The Last Dance when Michael Jordan was playing quarters, when he flips quarters and he just does the shoulder shrug, they're finishing 4th place, maybe the worst in the AFC. It's either them or Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville won a few more because of Lawrence. I wasn't a huge Zach Wilson guy. I do like Robert Saleh, but they did give him a little bit better offensive line here. They added a weapon in Corey Davis, but I don't know how this team's going to win games. They're not great on defense. Yeah. They're not great on offense. They don't have a ton of weapons outside. Is Zach Wilson really going to win 4, 5, 6 games on his own, especially in that division? He's got to go up against Buffalo, Miami, New England 6 times. they're not winning more than one game in the AFC East. It might be zero.
All right. So our order is I have the Bills first. You have the Bills first as well.
Yes, Bills first.
Bills first. Dolphins second.
Yep,
And
Dolphins
then
second.
Pat's third, and then the Jets in last. So we know how that division is going to go. Let's roll to the NFC East, and then listen, talk about the COVID team of the NFC East is the Washington football team. They just have a lot of issues with COVID right now as well. We'll see what happens. I'm not in love with the defensive coordinator. We all know that. But I am I'm happy. I'm happy with the head coach Ron Rivera. I think this is a perfect team for for Jack Del Rio. This is a perfect team for scheme for him. He can just do what he does best: rush forward and drop everybody else. I mean that's Jack Del Rio. Defensively. So we saw it firsthand. So that's what he wants to do. And I feel like they have the four guys down line. They're starting to pay those guys now, so they're doubling down on the defensive line because they don't have a quarterback who's taking up a lot of money on their salary cap. What are your thoughts about the Washington football team?
I like this team. I don't love the quarterback. Again, who's the quarterback? Ryan Fitzpatrick. So you're going to get
Heineke.
Some weeks he's going to look great, and some weeks he's going to be terrible, and he's going to make some bad passes and lose you games. But I think in this division, that defensive alone is going to carry him to a chance for a wild card. I do like the coach. One of my favorite things in free agency was them signing William Jackson III to give you a cover corner behind those pass rushers. They added Jamin Davis in the first round to give him some athleticism at the linebacker position because they weren't very good at linebacker last year. I do have a lot of questions about the offensive line here. Are they going to hold up? And can they keep Ryan Fitzpatrick upright? Because if they can't, this offense is going to struggle to score 20, 23 points a game. They're going to be somewhere at the high teens, which might be good enough for their defense to win 8 or 9 games, maybe 10, but we'll see. But I do like where this team's going. Curtis Samuel can play. Terry McLaughlin can play. Gibson, the running back, can play. Like Sheriff is an all-pro guard. So there are some pieces on offense. But, again, the quarterback is too up and down for me.
Yep.
So, again, I think there's somewhere between a 7 and 8 win team to me.
Yeah, I think that whenever you say you have a quarterback who just don't turn the ball over, your quarterback situation is bad. I mean, there is nobody who can just say, "Hey, I think this could be." I think 7 wins is fine. I don't think they win more than that because of the quarterback. He has to make plays, and he's gonna have 4 touchdowns one game, and he's gonna have 4 picks the next. It's hard to win that way. The Eagles, I think they are. Listen, they're just trying to get Deshaun Watson. That's what the Eagles are trying to do. I mean, if it's 2 teams who are trying to get Deshaun Watson under the covers, it basically, whispering in everybody's ears are the Eagles and the Panthers. Both of those teams are trying to get Deshaun Watson. They're just trying to see what the legal situation is, and could and the Eagles could just say, "Hey, we handled it with Michael Vick. Let's just go. Let's get it done." They're going to be the worst team in the division. There's going to be, I'm not sure. I'm not hearing great things about Jalen Hurts in his first year as a starter. Let's give Philly some. I would love to get the brotherly love of Philadelphia, but I can't with this version of the Eagles.
Oh, again, quarterback Jalen Hurts, second-year guy, had 4 starts. There's a lot of question marks there. Rookie head coach. We don't know a lot about Nick Sirianni. I do like Nick Sirianni, but I just don't think there's enough talent on this offense. He's got really young weapons on the outside, and Jalen Reagor and the Devontae Smith, who's already hurt, which is interesting because his stature came into question a lot in the draft process. And he gets hurt a week into training camp, and he's going to miss about 3 weeks. So we'll see. There is some talk they're trying to give Joe Flacco some equal side here. The Joe Flacco shouldn't see a snap as long as Jalen Hurts is healthy. They got to play him. They got to figure out, is Jalen the guy moving forward or not? Because if he's not, then they have to take a quarterback next year because they're going to end up with a top probably 5 pick in the draft. They lost a lot of guys on this team from last year's team. As far as like key additions, I like to write down some names on some teams. I wrote down Anthony Harris and then quiet, but nothing else. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Anthony Harris is the only guy they basically brought in. They lost Malik Jackson, Jalen Mills, Deshaun Jackson, Vinny Curry, Duke Riley. Like they lost
Oh, that's
a lot
it.
of guys off that defense. It wasn't very good last year. They finished 20th.
Yeah.
They finished 20th in the league in defense as far as points per game, and they lost half those guys. So, Nick Sirianni, good luck in 2022 because you're not going to win a lot of games this year, but you won't be as bad as the Jets.
So this is the situation where when like sometimes in like baseball where they have like and they have the analytic manager. This is the situation where they wanted kind of the same thing here, where they wanted somebody who they can control, who they can tell what to do, and he had to go execute it. And then basically he's going to take the brunt of all the pain while the GM and the owner just say, hey, do it better. Like, because that's basically what's going to happen, because it's going to be a bad situation out there. As far as that goes, they're gonna. I got them for last place, but we'll see what happens with the quarterback situation there. I always call them the fake G-men, the Giants. The real G-men playing San Francisco. The Giants here, if they're not fighting each other and busting caps in their heads over there, they got some serious fighting wars going on over there in New York. What are your thoughts about? Listen, like if Daniel Jones was they're going to do everything they can. I think Galladay he got hurt recently as well. Like, what are your thoughts about him? It seems like he has weapons around him, but when you watch him on tape, man, it's just like he misses really simple reads, really misses simple simple blitz stuff that like you can just be able to get rid of the ball quickly. He doesn't do that. He takes sacks, fumbles the football. I mean, at least Dave Craig was one of the most fumbling quarterbacks ever, but he made plays down the field. Like, he'll come back the next drive and stick it in the end zone. You're not seeing that with Daniel Jones.
No, Daniel Jones, to me, again, who's the quarterback? We go right to Daniel Jones. This is a make or break year. If they don't win 8 or 9 games this year, then he's not going to be the quarterback next year. They're going to have to go in another direction and not pick up his 5th-year option. Though Galladay's always hurt. He was hurt in Detroit, and he's hurt now. It looks like he's out 2 or 3 weeks. It's a slight hamstring pull, I believe. So it didn't seem like it was going to be a significant injury, but he does need reps. He needs reps with the quarterback so they can figure out the routes and the depths they want and how they want to throw certain things. Evan Ingram, to me, is a tight end. Too many drops. He's a nice athletic guy that can make some wild plays, and then he just disappears. Saquon Barkley is going to be the key here. They have to run the ball. He's got to be healthy. He's got to play 17 games, and they need 1,500 yards out of him to try to flirt with 500. I think the defense overachieved last year. I don't know if they're going to be as productive this year. If the offense steps up a little bit, I think that defense is going to take a step back, because teams last year probably weren't trying to run up the score against them. They were probably pretty content trying to get to 20, 24 points because they knew Saquon Barkley, that team wasn't scoring a lot of points. Yeah. So you just don't turn the ball over against them. This team to me is a giant question mark. I don't love Joe Judge. I know he's kind of, a lot of people love him. His team is pretty much pissed off at him already. He's pretty old school in his approach, so that might work with some players, but some of the new age players, you saw Joe Looney go to one practice and hang him up, be like, I'm out of here. He's already had some issues with Kadarius Toney, the first rounder. So it's going to be interesting to see in year 2 how this team responds to Joe Judge. But more importantly, it's all about Daniel Jones, and I don't trust him. I think him and Carson Wentz are the 2 worst decision makers in the NFL.
I'll say this about Joe Judge, and I'll say this about, listen, go look at, if you're hiring a head coach in National Football League, you need somebody with a steady hand. You need somebody who is a thinker, a strategist. Grab him by the face mask, all the stuff. That's why I think it's going to be a mess in Detroit this year too. Like this whole, if you don't have X's and O's, this generation of player, they want to know why. They want to know. They want to see that you know more than them. So good luck trying to turn the whole thing around in New York. I know people. is that where Giants fans are now? Like, they were in it for a little bit because they won three couple games in a row, but they were still well under 500. Like, it's just like, that's gross. I mean, where's the G-men that I grew up with the, what would Parcells say? You know what I mean? Come on, get out of here with that. That's horrible as far as that goes. But to me, the biggest reason why, and I think Daniel Jones has talent. The biggest problem I have with Joe Judge is, how do you look across the field and see Jason Garrett with your quarterback and say, oh, I feel good about my quarterback room. I feel good about my offense. Like, not even somebody young out of college who's innovative, not somebody who's off of maybe somebody off the Patriot staff who worked with Brady, or somebody who recommended not recommended by Manning, or something like, somebody go through the top 10 teams an offensive production a year prior and just try to grab somebody off of that staff. You bring home the Clapper. The Clapper is your offensive coordinator. That's the problem with the Giants. That's the problem with the Giants. The G-men, the fake ones. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, I saw some report that they were running a bunch of wide receiver screens and stuff in practice the other day, and we're going to the bubble screen offense in New York, but I just don't trust a lot on this team. They were able to get Leonard Williams under contract and keep him there, but they did lose Dalvin Tomlinson in the middle of that defense.
Yeah,
the big run stuffer. So
Dexter Lawrence is
I have a lot of question marks on this team.
I like him. I like Dexter Lawrence as well as a player on that team. Let's go to the team who I think. Did we go everybody? Yeah, this is a team that I think is going to win the division. So I think we're going to differ on this one, but I think the Dallas Cowboys, if it doesn't happen this year, Jerry, it ain't never happening. It never happened. I mean, this team they have a quarterback. I think if I had to pick any quarterback in this division, I would obviously take Dak Prescott. They have weapons. They have three. Their wide receiver room is fantastic. It's next level. I'm not, the running back Zeke is great. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not to go. Don't love the head coach, but I would say that I think talent rules, and I think if they can keep it together, keep this quarterback healthy, and they can just get to 9 wins, I think 9-8 will win the division. I really feel like that way. I think all these teams have a lot of holes in them, but I really believe that 9-8 will win the division. I think the Cowboys will win the NFC East this year.
I'm right there with you. I have the Cowboys finishing first with 9 wins. They have to play the AFC West, so these teams aren't going to match up very well with Kansas City. They're not going to match up with the Chargers. The Raiders can give these teams some problems, even Denver. But by far, Dak Prescott is head and shoulders the best quarterback in this division. They have the best wide receivers. They have the best running back. So I'm going to give them, you could argue Saquon Barkley, but they have the best group of skill position players. To me, the key to this team is the offensive line. If Tyron Smith is healthy and they can be upright for 15, 16, 17 games, this team's going to score 30 points a game. The defense isn't very good, but Micah Parsons is there, who should be a huge boost to them. If this team can get a lead, they should be able to get a lead, and then you can unleash Micah Parsons and Lawrence, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but the defensive end.
Yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence.
I believe Lawrence, yeah. DeMarcus Lawrence. Yeah. They're going to be good. They're going to be able to get sacks. They're going to get turnovers. The young corners they've drafted the last couple of years, Diggs, should be okay. They should only get better with they've spent some time in the league. Now, are their safeties very good? No, I don't think they are, but if they can get anything out of that pass rush, this team's going to win the division easily. I just don't think that the other teams in this division match up. Mike McCarthy does scare me. I don't love him as a head coach. We're probably very similar. I have Dallas 1, Team 2, the Giants 3, and the Eagles 4.
Yeah, I see it the same way. You broke up a little bit, but I do see it the same way. I think Dan Quinn can do. I think if Dan Quinn can do what I feel like Gus Bradley can do for the Raiders, I think that will definitely improve it. I think John Fossil at special teams will help them as well. Unlike I think to me the biggest mistake that they made was just make Kellen Moore. It's Kellen Moore's offense. Just make him the head coach. Just give him the heck. You don't got to pay him a lot of money. You can pull the Al Davis because you don't got to pay him a lot of money. He's a young coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be able to kick in the door and say, "I got all these." No, give Kellen. They should have forget McCarthy. They should have gave Kellen Moore the head coaching job. Hire his assistants. You know how Al used to do it. Hey, you want to be head coach? I got you. There's no more offers on the table. I waited for everybody else to get hired, so you can be a head coach and I'll pick your staff. Go get some experience. So. That's what I would have done, but like McCarthy's there as a kind of a placeholder. I think this is really Kellen Moore's offense, and he's just nuts. I mean, it's the head's got to roll it back. They should be a playoff team, no question about it. But Cooper, Gallup, who I love, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, it's a lot of really talented pieces there, Ryan. I mean, they should really win this division. I mean, Blake Jarwin is underrated. Underrated in that spot too as well. So I did read that they're giving him a little break from throwing Dak Prescott, but I haven't seen anything that's definitive that says that he's going to be a guy who's going to miss some time. But I think the Cowboys. I think we're both on the same page as far as this division goes. I think we picked both the same order, but I do like the Cowboys to win the division. No question about it.
Yeah, I could see him getting to 10 wins. I don't think this team's winning 12 or 13 games, but can they get to 9 or 10 in that division?
Well, if they had they
can get to 9 or 10.
If they had a real head coach, they could get to 12 wins, I think, easily. I think they could, especially playing
with that. If the defense is a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, if I get Ron Rivera in Dallas,
who do they play? What?
If I get Rivera in Dallas, I'm
just looking at their schedule.
Wins. They play who's their opening week? They play the Chiefs opening. I know the Buccaneers.
Play the South.
They play the Buccaneers opening week, right?
Buccaneers. So they have the Buccaneers, Panthers, Falcons.
Yeah. So you broke.
Still there?
Yeah, you broke up a little bit. Who do the Cowboys play again?
They play the NFC South.
Okay.
So they got the Saints, Falcons, Panthers, and they open up with the Bucks.
Yeah, but I mean, besides Brady, no great quarterbacks there. So I mean, so they got a chance to win. And if they ever beat Brady, then they really could. They could really sweep the NFC South if they really put their minds to it. So we'll see. All right, Ryan, great night. Talking NFL with you and Put On Waivers podcast, Put On Raiders podcast. I mean, the way the Giants are going, I might do a Put On Giants podcast. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's coming up to that time. Maybe playing good baseball on the Raiders. Made some moves. I'm making some moves this week, and also NFL never stops. Don't watch that game. Don't watch that game tonight. It's pretty gross. It's horrible to watch that. I know we love football, but it's horrible. All right, man. Take care. See you next time.